on a journey into space. Now before we go, we have to gear ourselves up. So we're going to just learn how to make some communicators to put on our wrist. First of all, we're going to get a roll of foil. Then you're going to get Mum to cut you some off, about this size. So all we're going to do is fold like this, and fold again, just flatten it down, fold again, and flatten, and fold all the way until we have a nice band like this. Now we're going to see if we can put our band around our wrist. Now you might need to get Mum's help for this one. We're going to put the band together and just fold it in so that it stays on our wrist. So if you can ask Mummy to help you, or whoever's there to help you can put that on for you. Now the next thing we're going to need is some little pieces of space junk. So we're going to get our foil and we're going to rip some pieces up. You need a reasonable sized piece, screw it in a ball, and we'll just throw them around in space. And make our space junk for later on. Okay, that's all we're going to need to go into space today. You might also need a helmet, so if you would like to get ready and we'll go off into space. Attention all astronauts, please report to the rocket ship and prepare yourself for blast off.
Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. If you wanna take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. We are flying all around into space where stars are found. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off!
Attention astronauts, can you please start your daily stretches to prepare for our walk on Mars?
Yes, Captain. All right, astronauts, starting with our lunges. Here we go. Back to the middle, other side. Back to the middle, forwards. Back to the middle, other leg. Back to the middle, sitting down for our around the world straddle. Legs nice and wide, and to the right. Center, to the left. Center, into a butterfly position. Now this one's a little tricky. We're going to roll around the planets. So holding onto your toes nice and tight, we're going to roll onto our shoulder and all the way up onto our bottom again. See if you can go around the whole planet. Here we go. Good job. Now we're going to make a mini moon shape. So laying down, we're going to make a nice dish with our body, reaching our arms up nice and high. If you're in Kinder Gym, you can follow Mr. Letter and put your hands by your side. If you're in I Can Do, put your hands up like Miss Fairy. Good job, everybody. Now we're going to work on our tummy muscles a bit more, and we're going to do a side plank. So, putting your toes to the side, making sure you're in a nice straight line, just like our awesome astronauts, and lifting up. Now, if you feel like this is super easy, just like Mr. Letter, you can reach up and try and touch the stars. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Let's do it on the other side. Pushing up and reach for the stars. 3, 2, 1. Awesome work, everybody. Now we're going to climb into our rocket ship, and first we're going to practice riding our bikes in space. So get those arms and legs moving. Round and around we go. It's a little bit silly to pack a bike onto a rocket, but we thought it would be fun. Good job, everybody. As the commander of the rocket ship, I need to make sure that my rocket and my crew are prepared for landings. Rocket ships have to land in a very specific way, and just like in gymnastics, gymnasts also have to land in a very careful way to make sure they don't hurt themselves and fall over. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice landing our rocket ships and landing in a motorbike landing, and I'm going to test my crew and see how they go. So, to practice our landings, we need to start in a motorbike position. Feet together, hands out nice and wide, and we're going to bend our knees just a little bit. From here, we're going to swing our arms back, do a nice big rocket straight jump, and we're going to land back in our motorbike landing. And you've got to hold it for 3 seconds. 1 rocket, 2 rockets, 3 rockets, and relax. Good work, crew. Let's practice that again and put it all together this time. Prepare. Swing, jump, and land. 1 rocket, 2 rockets, 3 rockets. Oh, I can hear from my navigator we're getting close to Mars. We're going to be coming in for a bit of a bumpy landing. So we've got 1 big landing to go. Are you ready, team? Here we go. 1, 2, 3! Whoa! Whoa! That was a bit of a bumpy landing on Mars. Let's go looking for aliens, shall we? Can you see any funny aliens around? They must be hiding from us. Oh well. When we first landed on Mars, we couldn't see any aliens. I think we might need to go on a bit of a hunt for them. Now in space, when we walk around, we don't walk like normal because there's no gravity. That means that we don't have any weight as astronauts, and we end up leaping and bouncing around instead. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on a bit of an alien hunt, but we're also going to practice our bouncing and our leaping. Now, on Mars, there's lots of big craters, and craters are big holes. Now, we don't want to fall in those, so if you find a crater, just like this one here, you've got to make sure you do a big leap over the top of it, because you don't want to fall in and get stuck. Are you ready? Let's go. Because there's no gravity, it's very easy to float away. I think we're missing somebody. Mr. Letter! Mr. Letter! She must have found an alien or something. Now, when we are in space, we want to make sure that we hold on to our friends nice and tight so we don't lose them like we did with Mr. Letter. That's okay, I think we'll be able to find her. So Miss Fairy, can you help me? We're going to hold on together so that we don't float away. So when we do this, we want to make sure that we're holding on nice and tight to our arms, bringing our toes in nice and close, and we're going to lean back. And now we've got to make sure we hold on nice and tight because we don't want to float away. Now if you find that a little bit easy, we can try one a little bit trickier. So we're going to stand with our feet together this way. We're going to hold onto our hands and we're going to try and lean out. Wow, see how far you can go? And if you can make a star shape with your legs as well, that is super tricky. Good job. Let's see if we can find Mr. Letter. Mr. Letter, where have you gone? Mr. Letter, if you find a friend you can't wander off, you have to make sure you tell us. Sorry everybody, I had to tell Mr. Letter that she shouldn't be wandering off in space, even if she spots an alien. Now, what we did notice while we were on Mars is that there's lots of stars in the sky. Well, not really the sky, in space. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice being a star. So can everybody stand with their feet nice and wide, put their arms up in a nice big star shape, and we're going to practice rocking from side to side and then turning in a circle as well. Make sure your nice big astronaut arms and legs are ready, and here we go.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Good job, everybody. Now I want you to see if you can stand and practice those big straight jumps again, but this time what we're going to do is try and grab a star while we're in the sky. So I want you to do a nice big jump, snatch a star, and make sure you land back in your motorbike landing. Are you ready? Let's go. Now if you're in I Can Do, just like Miss Fairy, maybe you can try a star jump instead of a straight jump. But don't forget to try and catch a star as well. Let's go, ready? Let's do 2 more of those. Oh, some shooting stars. How cool is that? Let's practice our stars 2 more times. Here we go. And 1 more, ready? Stretch nice and high. Awesome work. Now another place that we use our star jumps in gymnastics is in our cartwheels. So, Mr. Letter, can you go check the engines for me on the rocket? And Miss Fairy's going to help us with some cartwheels. Thank you very much, astronaut. So, we're going to practice our star shapes, but we need to break down our cartwheel into lots of little shapes first, and that's to make sure that we're doing it properly. So we're going to start with our arms up nice and tall. Now if you've got a nice big hula hoop just like Miss Fairy does, you can use this to make sure you get your shaping right. So our cartwheels always start with a lunge. So we're going to reach forwards, nice big step, squeezing our arms up near our ears, bending our front leg and making sure that our back leg is nice and straight. So that's position 1. So from here what we're going to do is we're going to reach forwards and lift our back leg off. Now you want to reach all the way, squeezing, 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 and you want a nice big line all the way from your hands to your foot. That's step 2. Thank you very much, Miss Fairy. So that's step 2, like I said. Step 3, where do you think that one goes? That's right, on the floor. So we're going to reach forwards, and this time we're going to try and put our hands on the floor. And just like that, we're going to do a tiny little jump. See if you can get your bottom foot off the ground. Let's do 2 more jumps, Miss Fairy. 1 and 2, and standing back up. Whoa, gotta be careful in space. Rocket ships are a little bit bouncy. So this time, instead of doing the little hop, we're gonna try and turn our hands to the side, because in a cartwheel, we need to have our hands pointing away from us. So this time, Miss Fairy's gonna make sure that her toes are pointing towards my space boots. There we go. So see if you can lift your leg up from this position. It's pretty tricky. We don't want anybody's heads or helmets on the ground. Good job, Miss Fairy. Standing up again. Now, it's pretty tricky to do a cartwheel from that position down on the floor. So what we're going to do is try and put it all together. So if you're in kinder gym, you can try this one by bending your legs. If you're in I Can Do, see if you can make your legs super duper straight. And we want to have nice pointy toes on the end of our legs. So let's try a Kinderjim cartwheel first, Miss Fairy, putting all of those steps together. Big kick, and we're going to go into a big star shape and landing on the other side. Ah, beautiful. Let's try the I Can Do version this time. So lunging forwards. Whoop, that's it. Remember, put your foot in your loop. Now hands on the floor. See if you can get a nice big star shape with your legs in the air. Whoop! Beautiful. Let's practice that 2 more times. Really trying to make sure that we stretch our legs because we want to look like a star in the sky when we do this. So our hands are on the floor and we have nice big star legs. Whoa! Is that another rocket going past? Silly, silly astronauts. All right, let's try again. Reaching up, hands on the floor, big star kick over, and land. And one more time. Let's give that a practice. I think you've been practicing these ones at home, Miss Fairy, have you?
Yeah.
Ah, good job. So lucky last. Number 1, that's it. Reaching forwards. Number 2, and over you go. 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful work, everybody. Make sure you practice those, and remember, we want a nice big star shape. Good job. Mr. Letter, how are those rockets coming? Oh, they must be fixed. Oh, hello. Thank you so much for fixing our rockets. Now, while you were busy doing that, Miss Fairy and I were looking out the window, and we think we've spotted an alien spaceship. I think we should try and get in touch and see if they're nice or not. Let's see. Alien spaceship, come in. Can you hear us?
This is SHG Enterprise here. Are you friends or foe?
We're friends. Can we come over and visit?
Oh, would you like to beam up to our spaceship?
Yes, please. I better take our rocket over to the new friends. Now that I'm in the control module of our spaceship, I can fly us over and meet the SHG Enterprise. Here we go.
Fasten your seatbelt, hold on tight. We're going on an intergalactic flight. Are you ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Zooming to the moon, we're gonna be there soon. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Rocketing to Mars, speeding past the stars. Zoom, zoom. Fasten your seatbelt, hold on tight. We're going on an intergalactic flight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Zooming out in space.
Can you see if you can balance on one foot and press the buttons with me? Ready? Whoa, that's it. Balancing and press another button. Good job. One more. Woo! I'm falling over. It's a bit wobbly. Let's see if we can do it on the other foot. Changing legs and press the button. Press another one. And let's press one more. Whoa, okay, we're coming into landing. Ready, team? Let's do one last big landing and awesome work. The SHG Enterprise was so friendly. They even shared some of their lunch with us. Now we're back in our own rocket ship and we're going to take a spin around the planets. So what we're going to do is practice some of our turning positions, because in gymnastics we do quite a lot of turns. So we've worked on our forward rolls in other videos. Today we're going to work on our jump turns. So the first one we're going to practice is a half turn. Now we've practiced our landings earlier, and just like before, we want to make sure that our rocket ships stay nice and still when they land. We don't want any wobbly ones. So we're going to start with a half turn. This is what we're going to do. You're going to start in your beginning position, arms out nice and straight. Either reaching up or reaching forwards, either is fine. We're going to swing our arms, and this time when we jump, instead of landing back where we started, we're going to face the back. So we're going to do half a turn. Let's give that a practice. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome work. Now, while we're here, we should practice turning back the other way. So we're going to complete our circle around the planet and keep turning. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And stick that landing. 1 rocket, 2 rockets, 3 rockets. Beautiful. Let's practice that one again. And I'm going to make sure that my astronauts are doing it correctly. Ready, team? 1, 2, 3. 1 rockets, 2 rockets, 3 rockets. Good job. Let's do it again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stick that landing. 1 rocket, 2 rockets, 3 rockets. And relax. Awesome work, guys. Do you think we can do a full turn this time? This one's pretty tricky. So what we're going to do, just like our half turn, when we jump, we're going to spin, but instead of landing facing the back, we're going to do a whole circle around the planet and finish back where we started. So this time you've got to make sure you jump really high. It also means you need to stick your rocket landing. Here we go. 1, 2, big jump, 3. 1 rocket, 2 rockets, 3 rockets. Fabulous work, everybody. See if you can practice your rocket jumps a few times and see how far around a planet you can go. There's lots of planets in our solar system, and just like practicing our spin around the planets before, this time we're going to walk over the top of the planets. Now, if you don't have a planet ball like we do, you can do this off the edge of your couch, off the edge of your bed, something that you can slide on your tummy for while still being safe. So we might need a helper for this one, mums or dads or whoever's around. You're going to hold onto your astronaut's feet just to keep them nice and stable. So we're going to hop into a front support position and walk over the top of the planet. So Miss Fairy's going to be my gymnast today, making sure that we're nice and still. So front support position, getting those knees on, and supporters, you can hold onto their ankles to keep them stable, and we're going to walk forwards and then walk backwards and see how far you can walk back. Can you roll the planet up to your tummy? And forwards again. Now remember, if you don't have a planet ball like us, you can do this off the edge of your bed or your couch, something like that. And helpers, you might want to make sure that you bend your knees and keep your back straight. Don't hunch over because it can give you a sore back. All right, awesome work, astronauts. Coming down. If you want to practice that a few more times, you can. It's pretty fun. Oh, some more shooting stars. Let's see if we can catch some. Oh goodness, they're too fast for me. Let's see if we can make our own shooting stars at home. So what you're going to need, you're going to need a tennis ball and a stocking or a sock, something like that. And make sure you put it all the way down to the end so you've got some nice hanging shooting stars. Let's see if we can swing them from side to side. And maybe in a big circle. Wow! Now you've got to be careful, we don't want to hit anybody or anything because shooting stars are pretty heavy. Now let's see if we can give them a little bit of a throw into space and catch them again. Whoa! Now it's okay if you don't catch them by the tennis ball part because you can catch their tails and they can go for a swing. See how many times you can do that. Now if you have a helper astronaut with you, maybe you can see if you can throw them to your partner. But if you don't, that's okay. You can still practice at home by yourself. Calling all astronauts, please return to the spaceship. Hi guys, did you have a great adventure outside? Awesome. Now I've noticed there's a little bit of space junk around and we should probably clean up the atmosphere before we go home. So, what we're going to do, everybody, is we're going to pick up our space junk that we put around at the beginning and we're going to put it in our buckets. Now, just like our helmet here, we're going to turn it upside down. So, Miss Fairy, I think you might need to turn your helmet upside down. Otherwise, we can't collect any space junk. So, let's see. We're going to pick it up and see if you can throw it into your helmet. Let's go. Make sure you get all of it. It looks like there were some very messy astronauts here before us. sure you have a good look around, astronauts. Is there any more? I think we got all of it. What's that? It's time to return back to Earth. Let's get back into our rocket ship. And here we go. Thanks so much for joining us in today's adventure, guys. We really enjoyed it and we hope you had fun. Back to Earth we go.
Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on.